Hi guys, welcome to See for the Soul Sign. We're tired. We drove back from Atlanta. It was 15 hours.
I don't know about you guys. I took a plane. It took about 2. I'm wide awake.
I feel fine. I don't know about you. And you were in the car with me. He's definitely dead.
He's definitely dead.
I want to go back to sleep.
Anyway, welcome guys. Welcome to the Super Soul Sign. Here we are with Stockbot. We're here to talk about the most recent BCFS we went to.
BSF.
BSF. I cannot speak when it comes to this.
He's very tired.
I'm not tired. I actually just can't speak.
Listen,
He's
you will
very
never
tired.
get it right.
Anyway.
You will just simply never get it
You're
right.
correct. So we did go to the Duluth, Georgia BSF, and we had a pretty good time, I would say. We didn't make it, though. We were number 10 on the list. We were so close. But sometimes your breakers just do that to you. But we had a very good time and very enjoyable time, wouldn't you say so?
We definitely had a very fun time. We lost the breakers. We did lose the breakers game, and there's nothing you can really do about that, just as a competitor in any card game event. We made a really deep run, receiving our losses in the first and the fifth round. So there was a good chance of us potentially breaking into top 8. But it just didn't happen. So congrats to all the teams at top 8. Congrats to the teams that won. We know the 4th place team. They did fantastic that entire event.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get there next time. How'd everyone do at BSF?
Me, I went 4-2
With what deck?
with Hololive, Fubuki Aqua. Undefeated until round 5.
That's awesome.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Especially, we did overhear a lot of your games. People were asking about your cards.
Yeah.
You were playing some interesting things that you don't actually see in most of these Hololive lists. So pretty glad that you were able to 4-0, especially like we were talking about in our last thing that you haven't been in the game too long, so seeing you take such a jank deck and do so well.
It's great. Even Hololive players don't know what Hololive cards do. So many times I will play like the 2-1 Gura from Expo Set, and they'll be like, "Can I read that real quick?" So they're like, rest, draw 1, pitch 1. Okay.
Plus 2K to 3K. Level 3
yeah, plus 2K. Plus 2K.
Hololive does have a lot of cards, so sometimes it's not.
You can't fault people
You can't
for
fault people
not
for not knowing
a lot of cards.
all those
but
cards.
A lot of the cards you were still playing were good cards that I think a lot of people just ignored because they read a deck list off Decklog and said, "I'm gonna play that," or
also,
they were shown another list they're like, "I'm gonna play that." I don't like 3 aquas. I'm gonna play a 4th one. I don't like 4 aquas. I'm gonna play 6.
Well, a lot of those cards also are like in, like the main ones that people ask me about were like blue cards, and you see the main deck being Kanata Marine, right, is primarily red green. And I mean, of course, I also play green in my deck, but it's more tailored to like the bar pants play style as opposed to the stock soul door type stuff. Like I play 3 Rene.
And no one knows what Rene
No one knows what Rene does. They're just like every time I would pitch a Rene for like mulligan, like every time I had someone be like, Can I read that real quick?" every single time.
That's how Crony,
same thing.
You saw one guy who played that though.
Listen, I saw one guy that played that. And I was like, "Oh, he's based. He's so based." The guy who played Crone Rushia, dude, that was scary at the end. That was scary at the end.
I really do wish more people played Rushia.
Dropped too fast. Gone
Dropped
before
too
her
fast.
time.
No.
That crazy pirate just took her over.
Well, just like Real Hololive, gone before her time.
Gone before her time. Like staring down 2 of those things when your deck is like at 3 with one climax left in there. Oh,
You're about to have a bad time.
Really gets you shivering.
Yeah,
just really gets you scared there.
Yeah, but you went 4-2, so can't complain. We were, we as a team we ended X2, so
yeah, we ended 4-2.
4-2,
and we were the 5th or 6th best 4-2 in the field.
I think so.
So
what were you playing on our end?
I was playing 8-Door Rent a Girlfriend, as we mentioned last time.
Yeah,
I happened to go 5-1.
best on our team.
Nice.
It was surreal because it was just a lot of people, once again, questioning what my cards did.
Well, yeah, not a lot of people see Rent a Girlfriend out there.
I can't imagine too many people actively played against it or saw too many of their friends playing it. There was one guy who knew what every card did, and he was just like, "Yeah, you're playing the good version."
No.
Well,
There's gonna be a brief audio cut because our battery on our camera just died.
that's true. That was really funny that
Yep.
just happened.
Let's go.
um,
So, you
Nice.
wanna?
we're pretty. This is pretty scuffed. Anyway,
Absolutely.
so
Okay, so guys,
we're just gonna have to.
the audios and the video were both messed up for last video. I apologize. This weekend the video is going to be messed up for this week as well.
Yeah.
I just spent the last hour setting this up.
Oh, I felt so bad. I look. It's really funny. I just looked up at the display, and I saw. I was like, "Does that say the?" I thought, "Is that the battery about to go out?" And then it proceeded to go out.
I am
well,
so sad.
You know,
right
the
now.
battery, like when he was setting it up, it was like at 3 bars.
should've-
or
yeah,
whatever,
I
and
guess-
I was like, oh, that might be enough. I don't know how long this battery lasts.
Yeah,
and then,
we'll
and then-
make sure the
one-
battery's charged. We're sorry
no one
again,
checked.
guys.
No one.
This is
said
probably just going to be
anything.
another just audio.
This is gonna be me throwing together a thumbnail and
Yeah,
and posting it
he's
on
he's
YouTube.
not. He's going
I
to be
am
sad
very
again.
sad
But
because no one saw this the last time, but when I uploaded the video for the first time, it was the wrong video. And
Oh.
so I deleted the video, had my friend break into my house in which no one was in here, retrieve the flash drive, and I uploaded it down in Duluth. And now I'm just sad again.
Yeah. Thanks, Jake.
all right.
Yep, all my fault.
Well,
It's not. It's okay.
So-
Anyway,
we'll
so
make it work.
that was very sad to happen. But let's
So
go
that's
back.
that's been this weekend now.
Let us. Yeah, we get 10. We try to make a video. The
We
battery
get-
cuts out.
We get tense.
We had to drive
we had to
14
drive.
hours back and forth.
So we made really good time going down.
We made awful time coming back, and we left at 1 in the morning.
12 hours down, 15 hours
Yeah,
back. It
so-
was
It's been a couple days, but we're gonna
Mhm.
continue because we can make it work.
so
back
back
to
on
your
Rent a
Rent-A-Girlfriend
Girlfriend.
thing.
Oh god, goodness, where was my train of thought? Oh, I went 5-1. Not a lot of people know what Rent a Girlfriend does, and so that was the really funny part about it. And then there was this one guy who just goes, "Oh yeah, Rent a Girlfriend. My friend plays this deck. He just refused to play any of the mommy cards because she
Mhm.
sucks." And I go, "Listen, man, it just makes it good. If I could play 42 copies of Chizuru cards and 8 climaxes, I would. But for the sake of consistency, I have to do
That's
this."
true. We did. At first, there was a lot of cheese. There was a lot of Ruka cards, and we all know me and you both don't like Ruka.
I
For
went
one.
So in the first round, I lost. I lost by 2 damage to 8 standby quintessential quintuplets, and I would have won had I found my climax. It just wasn't happening, unfortunately, and so I lost by 2 damage. I sent him to 3-5, and I had 2 level 3s that I was just trying to push vanilla damage with, and had either of those resolved, I could have potentially taken that game. Who knows? Maybe that extra damage would have been the extra cancels on top. That would have led me to lose that game even worse. But from there, it was just doming people for 4 to 5 damage
Yeah.
very early
Good.
with a brainstormer that adds soul, and surprising people with on reverse 8k on level 1, not knowing that it's an 8k
Yeah.
on my turn.
Your chooser is an AK on level 1, but you actually don't see a lot of level 1s that do that.
Without any like self-fulfilling requirement.
Yeah.
It's very hard for a card to just be natively
This
8K.
is it's really interesting because I will say last Spring Fest. So Jake and I have been on the same team every Spring Fest. As much as my friends have told me to drop him, I kept believing him. Last Spring Fest, he didn't do so great. He was very unlucky. So it's actually glad for me to see that he actually went a very good positive for once. Like
Yeah, I can play this game.
Like, I always believed in him. Some of my friends really didn't. They always said, "Why are you taking Jake? He's gonna let you down again." But he went 5-1.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna let you down, but one event out of one.
It's
4,
fine.
5, 6, 7. One event out of
Listen.
7.
It's okay.
I'll go 5-1.
I don't think that helps your case.
It's fine. It's fine. Because actually, for this time, for the first time, I was actually the one who actually did the worst.
And what were you on?
I was on my Kage list of 5 pants and 3 door. I went 3-3.
And which door was it?
It was the Brainstormer door.
The level 0.
A level 0.
The brand new level 0.
Brand new level 0. It did a lot of work for me. It was to the point where I was throwing the climax down and swinging with like 1 brainstorming, having 2 brainstorming in the back, and getting 3 stock for free.
Your casual build your own countertop.
It was nice because I was after my level 1 game, I was moving into level 2, and it was more of just trying to build stock to set up for my Kaguya play or just healing down and compressing my deck. All of my games I felt like were like tooth and nail. Especially our very first round, like I went against Kanata Marina, and it really went. I put him to 3-6, and he canceled in the last attack, and then I stared down on 3 Marines yet again, which I survived the first time, but could not survive the second time.
So you were just in a winnable spot.
Yeah, very winnable spot.
It happened that it didn't.
I also went. I had to stare down Escanor once, and I finally realized that was like my first time playing against Escanor because I have not played against Escanor at all. And man, sometimes when you see that combo go off and he hits a 2-soul and you're just taking 6 individual sources of 1, and your deck has 17 cards in it and 1 climax.
It's so rough.
It was really rough to look at. Not gonna lie.
Just putting the fear of God into you.
Yeah. The second time I faced Escanor, he didn't hit the 2-soul trigger, and I think that's what saved me the game. Really.
You were prepared though, because
I
saw what it could do.
I was a little bit more prepared this time. I tried to make sure to keep myself at a more survivable set of damage. Well, and I would say my 3-2 did the job. So I think every time I got the combo off, those were the games I won. Just because adding the 2-1 event that gives the 3-2 and Musashi, on the fact that it's just gonna burn 3 for free, it just can just do 3 sources of damage itself, which is very strong. And so we went 3-3, and I'm pretty happy with the build I went with. It's really nice because like a lot of people thought I was playing 4 of the pants, of the level 1 pants combo, and I told them no, I did a 3-3 split with the pants in the door and then played the 2 of the level 3. It felt really good. There were situations where every time I hit a brainstorm and I was looking for the 3-2 combo, I'd brainstorm the 3-2 climax away. But hey, I can't even be mad about how I did. I thought it was a good time.
That's good.
I thought all of us did very well. Now the one who wasn't on our team,
Yes.
here.
Hi.
Where were you? How you? I think went X1 or also right.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd you do?
I did great. So I also went X1 just like Jake. So,
How'd your team do?
So my team also went 4-2. So we had a slightly worse breaker than these other guys. So we ended up as 12th place.
That's all that really matters, is that our team did the best.
Your team lost a round before ours did, right?
Yeah. So we lost round 1, then we lost round 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what ultimately just completely destroyed our breakers.
Just unfortunate breakers.
Yeah.
We both lost the breakers game, but you went 5-1
Yes.
personally.
Yep.
On the deck that you said you were bringing last time.
Sort of. So what ended up happening? So last time I said I was going to bring Elizabeth Diane.
Yeah, and then you said Elizabeth was Diane was Sora Amamiya.
No, yes.
So you were just removed her because you realized you don't know who she truly is.
And
right?
you were not allowed to.
We basically
No. See, I need people to understand that on Aoyuki's birthday, I did my personal prayer chant.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
All right.
I had to eat my daily bread of Aoyuki.
I feel like you're lying.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can never lie about Aoyuki.
Anyway, so you ended up playing what?
I ended up playing King Diane. So I went 8-bar.
Shocker.
Set 1?
The guy who likes bar so much.
No, so
Oh.
well, yes, I had to do my patent at 8-bar. No, so I did the King level 1 from set 2 and then Diane from set 2.
I really did not know what you were playing.
See, and neither did my opponents.
Oh.
Because they saw, I would discard something from set 7 Deadly Sin. I would discard some random card from set 1. Like, oh, you're playing Escanor. I'm like, yes.
Oh my goodness. What an angle.
Yes.
He actually really had a good angle because he could pitch. He could pitch like something.
You could pitch like.
He could pitch like the Yellow Melodious, and people would be like, "Oh, he's playing Escanor."
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
No.
It's really nice.
Most...
Same thing with Alejandro. He could pitch a card, and they're already not expecting Fubuki Aqua. unless he pitches the 3-2 Aqua into the drop.
That's wild. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Where they're going to just assume
It's-
you were on Escanor pile.
It's what happened when it's kind
Exactly.
of the thing that I think that can happen when these certain lists are topping. And
Well, for his, it's even more potent because Escanor is a very weird mid game deck.
yeah,
Yes, it is.
It's an extremely weird mid game deck where it's just accruing
very,
value.
very different.
It's accruing its
play
value,
styles.
but then like you dropped 3 2s that ping one.
Yes. And I cannot tell you how many times I'd be like, cool, I'll play 2 Dianes on level 2. Like, cool, I'll ping you one. And just snipe climaxes. Like, yes, free damage.
That is the
best feeling.
It's so good. And the great thing was that since the meta for the most part was pretty board centric, like, all right, cool, I will just summon my Dianes and then summon the 3-2 Elizabeth that gives you the global 15 buff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they just say it has 13 Ks cross turns. Like, all right, deal with this.
And if you have 2, it's nice little 15-5s.
Yeah, it's
You're
just
looking
so
down right there.
it's so
really
good.
big, really, really hard to deal with.
Yes.
But you went 5-1. That's
Yes.
good.
The only loss I had was again. The only loss I had was Door Choice Quince,
Ooh,
which I wasn't fully expecting.
That's
Uh,
spicy.
And
That's
yeah,
hot.
shout out to my opponent because he also canceled like an absolute god.
that's all that matters sometimes.
True.
Yeah, no, listen, that Ichika finisher is very good.
Yeah.
You guys can't see it right now, but Jake is shaking his head.
Listen,
right
sometimes
now.
What's wrong?
I just looked at the camera setup and I just.
Oh, you're still sad about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Each good finisher from Quince 1 based.
I was about to say, like,
Please.
you got something wrong with best girl. I thought we were.
Oh
I thought we were in
my
the.
God.
We're
I
not
thought
gonna
we were
start
in the
best
same
girl
boat.
thing
No,
on
Each
this
good
thing.
finisher based. Itsuki package to give you an additional card in hand, plusing 2 on your level 1 based. That sounds like a deck right up my alley. That I would be like, I could not trust myself with that amount of value.
No,
couldn't-
you don't
I
want to
couldn't
know what
trust you either.
happened. My opponent dropped 3 of them and then got the combo off and drew 9 cards. I didn't know what to
Yeah.
do.
You really can't stop
Wait, how
that.
many Ichikas did he hit you with? 2?
He hit me with 2.
Aw.
It hurt a
Aw,
lot.
You're gonna go the
Two
3
is-
and
two is
3.
still- two is still-
Two is a respectable number.
Two is
Two
still
is-
really
Because
good.
you could still end the game with just
You really
one.
can.
You could end the game with 1. 2 really, really helped you get there.
There's no way I'm surviving. I was absolutely dead.
Oh, that guy's my hero. You know, that's a deserving loss. That's honestly a deserving loss.
Oh yeah, because I that game was like literally I did everything I could. I'm like I just could not crack it. I was
It
just-
probably came down to he had really good cancels at the end,
yes,
and he had a lot of damage at the end of that game.
yes, he did. I just 8 damage from like 1-5 to 2-5. I'm like, oh, all right.
Sometimes that's just what happens.
You know, like you can't prevent that, unfortunately, and then like just Weiss happens.
Weiss
Alejandro almost witnessed me commit a crime on round 6.
Okay, please explain.
So this was our we were
This is a
playing,
very important game to us.
This is extremely important because we have to win this. Our breakers are kind of mid. We need 12 points. You absolutely need 12 points to get in. So we have to win. I see Alejandro already is down his game. Very, very tragic game where he just ate a bunch from, was it MTI?
Yeah. I stared down 3 Ghislaines at the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
yikes.
and,
And,
so he just took 6 straight or something at the end, or 8
Yeah,
straight. Or
it was
something
it was like 8. Yeah.
And so, you know, he's down the game. I'm playing my game. I'm taking some high damage from a very fun Coronet Marine deck.
Oh, it was super based. Yeah, they
'cause
got
he was
yeah.
running a 15 card memory package in it.
Oh,
He had the Botan Zero, he had the
Nenes.
Nene that paid 1 that sends to
Of course,
memory.
he played Polka, I'm assuming.
He also played polkas, and he had a few other auxiliary cards that could send to memory, and so he had like 7 cards in memory. So the game was progressing very slow. It took a lot for me to finally break through, but I was just ahead on clock by always 2 or 3 the entire time. I got to 2-0. I played both my event. I played 2 of my events. They go to memory. And then I just set up, because I've barely seen climax combos this game. I just set up accordingly to play a slow game because my deck's in a good state, and I just push damage in and pass turn. He plays back, triple cancel. I then clock, refresh, hit 2-2, play one of my events, go down to 2-1, play an early play, go back to 2-0, play another dude on board, push in, and then he can come back. He's still canceling fairly well on his end.
Mhm.
He then just is continue playing his game, comes back at me. I'm at 2-3 by the end of the entire interaction. This is when I hit God mode at that point.
God mode. What do you mean?
Where
Demon time.
where I go to my turn, I clock, play my board, heal down, go back to 2-2, and he is now pushing level 3, and I'm still sitting at 2-2. He attacks 3 times. He doesn't have a Marine. I was like, all right, well, that's really good for me. And on his 3 attacks, I go cancel, cancel, cancel. I see Alejandro. He's sitting next to me, and he's just like not saying anything because he can't. But I know he just wanted to pog there.
Listen. My whole thing was that like at that point, I'd seen him do it twice, and I was just like, I was ready to like be like, Judge, he's cheating. Judge, my teammate is actively cheating. This is not possible.
The thing that kept me in it was a lot of my board was being thrown away because I was running it into 3/2s and I was running it into higher power characters. What really helped me was 2 brainstormers on the field that were always plussing me value. And so my opponent, who was praying to any god he could to get him Matsuri Brainstormer, just could not get it. And my brainstormers were still popping off, putting me in good refresh states, and making sure that I was always going to have 7 climaxes going back into that. And it just happened that my cancels were fantastic until I just decided, all right, we can end this game because I finally drew the 3-2 climax.
Wow.
Nice.
What you are definitely known for not seeing when we play casually.
I went,
Ever.
to be fair, I barely find that. I barely find that.
We play casually all the time, and it's either I have the wrong one, or you somehow managed to cancel with those first 4 cancels.
Or they're the ones I want to stock.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always tragic and unfortunate. But as soon as I found it, I was like, this game can finally progress, and the game ended right there because the guy could not soak up that much.
Round 6 was wild because you were all between Jake canceling like a god, and you're watching me in Escanor go back and forth.
Both your games had me really nervous because I was just like, all right, because I'm thinking to myself, I was like, all right, if we lose, we can go eat.
True.
But if we win,
we have a chance of making top 8.
Round 6 was definitely terrifying because I stared down 2 Escanors and like a no deck, in a really low deck state, and then it went to my turn. I hit him the 3/6, but then he kept canceling, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. The last soul sign just does it. I put the Musashi on that one, but I was like, the Musashi might not kill if I don't hit a soul sign. I hit one. He didn't cancel, but it was a rough game to watch, and it was a rough game to be in.
I was player B, so like I'm in the middle of between like both your games, and like listen. The thing is that me and my opponent were doing the same thing. We were just looking back and forth, like, "Oh my!"
Yeah, I know. It was just very stressful. Like me, the guy, my opponent asked me because we go into time. Like we're now the last game.
Yeah.
We didn't go to time, and as we're waiting for the judge, he looks at me, and goes, "Are you sweating?" Because I'm sweating. I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm really nervous right now." It was a wild time, and I think I would say like all of our opponents are very good people.
We had a really fortunate event where most if not all of our teams that we went up against were really fun matches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And or just like good players.
They were they were good players.
Yeah.
They were good sports. Like they were very nice to talk to.
Mhm.
None of them were like, man, I really wish I wasn't talking to that guy.
Like given every card game, given every circumstance, you're always going to run into players that are either going to ignore you, have certain ticks that are going to get under your skin, but like, we were fortunate to not really run into that.
Everybody we played against were very nice people.
Someone, my round 4 opponent did make a slightly weird comment to me where he was just like, "Oh, we're just trying to do the same thing." Meanwhile, I'm sitting there at 2-1 and he's at 1-0.
Yeah, you did the same thing.
And I'm just like, we're in very different circumstances of the game, sir. I really just kind of don't want to think about how I'm about to die.
And you're not.
to fate that's going to give extra soul to the random duders.
Yeah.
I really don't want to think about that. Fortunately for me, I believe he misplayed at the end where he didn't put himself to level 3 because I was against 8 door Fate Stay Night
with the Excalibur
with
combo.
Excalibur at
Gotta
the end.
love my
Okay.
Excalibur Morgan combo.
And I was so scared because I set him to 2-5.
Oof.
He clocks, goes to 2-6, and he thinks to himself, and he says this out loud. He goes, "I think I can live to next turn."
Oh no! That
No.
I feel like that's like that's the biggest red flag you can throw to yourself.
Because I know for a fact that he has a good amount of stock that he can either, because he can Ricky himself.
Yeah.
He
He
should be
can
able to,
he can Ricky himself.
Yep.
He was just at the cusp of being able to like double Ilya into refresh.
Oh my
and
God.
and so I was thinking to myself that this is how it ends. This is I went
Yeah,
2-1. I went
Saber
2-1. I was thinking that I was riding some good momentum. This is how it all ends. He doesn't clock. He goes to a lower deck state. I remember there's one climax in his stock,
Mhm.
and there were 7 in waiting room, and he had 5 cards left, and I was like, I only have to do 2 damage in a brand new deck, and I win this game. And so I just pushed as hard as I could. I went to 3-5 on my turn. I clocked to 3-6, and I was on a very low deck state, and I was just like, we got to find my finishers fast, or I'm gonna die. And we got the 8 damage through, fortunately.
Yeah.
And so then that comment became a lot less annoying in the wake of me winning.
Of course,
But
yeah.
What happens?
but just Weiss can do that to you sometimes.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Your opponents were pretty good, Brandon. They were all pretty good people.
Yeah, it was really great people. Like,
How
So-
are you feeling against Kanata Marine?
okay, listen, so I was going to mention that.
Oh,
So,
the man who pulled out the
yes,
full out shiny boys.
I have never felt I didn't belong. I felt like such a peasant against this man who had maxed out Kanata Marine. Because he goes, hey, I'm discarding 2 to draw 2 for the open mulligans. I'm like, is that an SP Marine? He goes to
Oh,
clock. I see another
Jesus.
SP. And then he is like,
Oh.
all right, cool. Later on, I hit him for 3 damage. I see SP Marine, SP Marine. I'm like, who is this man?
That's $4,000 you just put into the clock.
Yes.
That's $8,000 you just put
Oh,
in the
my
clock.
bad.
I'm like, I don't
Dude.
feel like I belong
Listen, I
here.
want you to know if
That's
I stared
insane.
down 3 SSP Marines, I'd probably scoop to my opponent.
I'm like, you want, dude, you paid for this.
Actually-
I'm sorry, you got it.
Yeah, I would.
Wait, did you win or lose?
I won that one.
You won? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's. So it's weird because I just remember like the MTI opponent I faced.
Mm-hmm.
That was maxed. I stared
God.
down 3 maxed out
Wow.
Ghislaines and I died.
That.
Well, you just got
shit.
blinded.
Well,
You
I'll
didn't
tell you the one
die.
thing. The difference between a
True.
maxed out Ghislaine versus a maxed out Marine is slightly a lot more money.
Oh,
It's
only a
slightly,
little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like max rarity MTI is around $8,000 to do.
Yeah.
That's just the 4 Marines.
It's true.
God, see, okay, that actually puts into perspective. Jesus Christ, that's
That's-
so much.
That deck
Yeah.
was probably around
But-
$15,000.
I would always say we overall had a pretty good Spring Fest trip. We
No
had some
one,
fun.
no one from our group, the 9 of us that went, did
Yeah.
absolutely terrible,
No.
and
Mm.
that's all you can wish for like
We
going
did-
to these trips.
We did
Oh,
really
yeah.
good.
You want to go, you want to play all of, like you want to play as
Yeah.
much as you can, obviously.
Yeah, do as much as you can. We do, I think, try to play as well as we can, and sometimes it doesn't happen. But luckily in a team event, you don't have to be the best one on your team.
You have to win 2 out of 3 times.
That's
Yep.
sometimes
That's all it
that's all that
takes.
really matters. I think the vendors are pretty good. I picked up some Kage stuff, some Kage merch.
Yeah, shout out to
We
the
love-
vendors.
We love WinCon games.
So my plan was to trade in a bunch of Love Live SPs,
Sacrilegious.
and and I was like, man, we can do this early, we can do this late, and then towards round like 3 or 4, I'm just like, man, I still have this box on me. I haven't been
Frank's a
able to do it.
popular guy.
Frank's a really popular guy. They have a line constantly,
Mhm.
especially further into the event when more and more people are starting to lose. And so I'm just thinking, I'm never gonna get there. I'm just gonna carry this
Okay.
box with me, and
Eventually, it'll end up in my pocket for some reason.
Well,
But-
True.
Well, remember that on Sunday when we were like going there, me and Jake are just like, so we're just out of it. We're tired. We're just like,
oh yeah, these guys.
we're like, all right, listen, we'll SO2 drop. We'll go get some pizza and some, and it'll be Modelo
That's
time.
right.
And then
Yeah, we did have an original plan because if we did poorly, it would be good because we'd be able to get some sleep because we had a long drive ahead of us. But that's of course always
man,
when we try.
before we knew,
Before
Yeah,
we knew
exactly.
we were making a long run, I'm getting 2 hours of sleep and having to drive at 1 a.m. at night so we could get back at a reasonable time.
listen, we lose the first round. Me and Jake was just like, oh my god, we're halfway there. And then we proceed to win the next one. We're like, oh man,
We're fighting up the ladder.
and then we keep going. I was like, what's going on? Meanwhile, I'll like listen. You know how I felt going undefeated, going into like round 5. I'm just like, what is happening? I was like, what is happening? Because I eat it every like casual. I eat it every casual game that I have with you guys. I absolutely like just eat it.
You're a gamer. You do better in the events.
And I'm
That's
just
true.
like, and then I'm like, what is happening? Well, I mean, listen, if we're going back towards like the games of the event,
Yeah.
do you guys have any favorite like plays or like moments that you guys have had like in the event? Because I have one in particular that was.
All right, you go first. Let me think of mine.
Yeah.
Because like for me, it was when it was like at the end of the like my last turn, I play the 1-0 Rushia that sacks a another character. You reveal the top card. If it's a Hololive character, add it to hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that. I reveal my 3/2 Suisei off finisher, that pings one.
And draws one.
And draw. So well, hold on. That's the important part. I get the Suisei. I play the Suisei down, and Suisei has the.
What'd you sack to Rushia?
That's right. I sacked a LaPlus.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I sacked a LaPlus. So I went in there fully expecting to game. and put and be like, all right, yeah, Rushi effect, reveal top. It's a card. Add it to hand. Well, it's a character. Add it to hand, and then be like LaPlus effect. Put it, and I was like at 3/5 at this point.
Oh, so you're trying.
I was gonna.
I was going for it.
I was gonna game, and then I was gonna be like, yeah, put LaPlus in a like clock or whatever, and then, but no, I see the Suisei, I pick it up, and I'm like, because it's at this point it's like I had like what 3 climaxes left in deck. I'm like. And like it was a pretty decently sized deck still. I'm just like,
gotta go for it.
I was like, but I didn't. I said no LaPlus effect. I play the Suisei down, and Suisei on place draws you a card and gives another character 2K. So I draw my card, and what do you know? It's the climax. It's the climax that
Climax, right?
it's the Aqua climax that I needed to end the game.
Aqua being a gamer.
And then I'm like, listen, I was trying to be nice.
Oh,
but I was absolutely pogging in my head. I was just like, oh my god! I'm like, oh, it's happening. And then I proceed to win the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so it wasn't like a favorite moment, but it's a favorite feeling that I think I haven't done it in a while. Because I haven't gone to like a large Magic event in a while, so I haven't been able to like tear. Because in Weiss events, I just get my butt kicked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the feeling of Weiss Schwarz checkmate.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I remember you telling us
is
about this.
Putting your opponent to 3/5, 3/6. And knowing they have either 0 climaxes left in their deck because they're just like, I have 8 in the waiting room. When you ask the dreaded question, or and you have like 2 attackers up or something like that, or you are going to put them to refresh, and by them drawing their last card.
Yes.
And so this has been my drug now because that happened 3 times in my match.
3 times.
3 times.
Imagine putting someone at 3/6 and going, all right.
And I just go, good game, and I like extend my fist out for a fist bump.
Wow.
And they're just like, oh yeah, I just lose. Like that is the best feeling ever.
Sadist.
Because
actually,
because it's just like, they didn't expect to not make it this far for the game. When I was in round 4 against 8-Door Fate, the guy was just like
8-Door Fate guy to 3/6.
Yeah, I put the 8-Door Fate guy to 3/6. I just go, good game, man. He's like, yeah, I just lose here, and I'm just like, this was the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Also, dealing 5 on level 1 is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Dealing 5 and putting them instantly to 2/2, and they're just like, yeah, I'm in first deck still, and I'm like, yes, you are. I went 4 for 6 on dealing 5
Jesus.
at that event.
Crazy.
That's actually nuts.
That's 20 damage and 6 attacks.
God, and people complain about, Escanor dealing a bunch of damage. Please, you're out here dealing 5 and 1.
But yeah, those were probably some of the better ones that I did.
If I had to choose, I can't really choose between one because there were two times where I had a really great game. So
was one of them the one where I walked over and I watched you windmill slam the climax off a refresh?
Yes, it was.
Was it? That was you. Literally, he dealt 1 and you canceled on 1.
Literally all I had to do to
So
survive.
you were dead if you took
I was
that.
literally dead.
That was the last damage.
I'm like, yeah, if I have this
And he dealt
damage.
2 damage to you. So
Yes.
yeah. Oh my god.
Literally, I had 1 damage pending. I refreshed. I'm like, all right, cool. My refresh point was not a climax. I'm like, I had to believe in the heart of the
You
cards.
just windmill slam.
I just take the top card, I windmill slam it down, don't even look. I'm like, yes, cancel. I've never felt more powerful in my life.
That's great.
And then Diane came in clutch.
And Diane just coming in clutch and just being like, cool, I can just ping damage just to kill my opponent. I don't have to actually bother hitting them.
Yeah.
And then shout out to my round 4 opponent.
Yeah, the wildest matchup I would hear.
It was literally just a match made in the stars.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's
what
your boy.
who was your round 4 opponent?
My brother in arms, Brandon.
Brandon, right?
Yes.
What was Brandon playing?
He was playing 8-bar 7 Deadly Sins.
Was he playing the exact combos you guys were?
Almost. He was playing King instead of King
Okay,
Diane.
but you guys, it's really funny that 2 Brandons were both playing 8-bar and playing the level 1 King. Different level 3s, but it was actually, it was almost like the stars align. You guys almost played the exact same deck.
In player A, nonetheless.
In player
the
A.
same
Player
spot.
A.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
Literally, we just looked at it was literally the Spider-Man meme. We just looked at each other like, brother!
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it was absolute shout out. It was such a fun match.
Yeah, I don't really have an exact moment myself either, but I think my favorite thing that I realized I could do was I think one turn I was like, my deck's low. That's when I just slammed down the Kage climax, and I think I played 4 of them and just stocked 4.
What?
Because I could I was like, wait, they don't have to be in the back row. So I just played it stocked 4, then swung with 2 of them.
I said, it's a build your own Kanata combo.
It was really nice.
That's disgusting, actually.
So I think that was my favorite moment. I think all of my moments were really great because, like I said, a lot of them went right down to the wire. Like one turn is this and the other turn is that. But yeah, that was a very great time. And our next one's gonna be Newark. We were originally gonna go to Chicago, but some things didn't pan out, so we're gonna end up going past the Rosemont one and going straight to Newark, which is our hometown. So it's very easier for us.
Things might pan out for Chicago for maybe a team or 2.
Yeah.
It's just dependent on who's available to go, who wants to go. If the costs of these events go up, the less people who go per person. So we might go, we might not go. It just depends if anything pans out. If a last second flights opens up for $98 and you're like, well, I can fly in a Saturday night and play.
Yeah, exactly.
There's great consideration going into that.
And then we're really quickly just gonna go over the top decks, like some of the top lists.
So what happened at?
So first we're gonna talk about
Duluth.
Germany.
Oh,
Germany happened the same time Duluth did. Before we go into what we did, and that's where our lovely people at Weiss Time have posted the deck list again. Please support them.
I haven't filled out that link. I will send that link in the group chat, and we
so
all need to fill out that link.
Yes, we
true.
They are very helpful in getting these top 8 decks out there and making sure that we have things we can look at outside of the top 3 decks that Bushiroad would normally post out.
They
did top 4?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay, so the top 4 decks. It's nice knowing what else was on there.
Yeah, Tucker got his piece of paper.
Yes, he did.
And at the end they kind of give us an overall how many decks are played.
Well, they now have a master sheet.
Yeah.
They have a
It's really
master
nice.
sheet formatting all of their data.
Yep.
And I cannot wait to be the only rent-a-girlfriend on that sheet.
Cheers
There
to
is
that.
no rent-a-girlfriend on that sheet.
Uh
Or as far as I saw through my browsing.
No, I don't think it's a single
So
one.
in Germany there were 36 teams. Top 8. A lot of these top decks is basically what we've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Escanor and a lot of first place it was Quince 8 standby with an Escanor on it. It had MTI on it, which means MTI is still a good 8 standby deck.
Well, European meta is very, very weird. They were huge on Escanor as soon as it got revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see from the European players that went to Worlds, 7 Deadly Sins was the set that they said that's going to be the set.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it got thwarted by Quince, so we didn't see the Escanor Quince matchup or even the Escanor matchup in the end for Worlds.
Yeah.
But they said that that's going to be it. They are also very big on the traditional standby list.
With me looking at it right now, you see a lot of things like you would normally see, and you see Hololive with people playing Ex-Marine.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, very
we do
cookie
see
cutter.
people with playing Escanor.
Yep.
There are a couple outliers out there. I mean, there's also, I can't forget, some dual laners made it to the top there. Jake's favorite deck, too.
Gimmick decks are fun to play against. So fun.
The couple things that I saw that were interesting. In fourth place, one of the team did have a Data Life thing, and I was looking at it. And what's really cool about this one is
wait, which DAO?
That's what so they're playing a total of 5 choice 3 pants. So
Kotori?
Let me go over what it was. So the classic level 1 Kotori combo.
Okay, the +2 machine.
Literally the +2 machine. When it attacks, you reveal the top card. You perform this choice. If you reveal the top card, if it's a date or celestial spirit or an event, you add it to your hand.
Did they play the event?
They played Basic Realizer.
Okay.
Which is another event that is played a lot, especially if you splash green, because Basic Realizer is a very good event. That does, and if anyone who doesn't know what Basic Realizer does, perform the following actions 3 times. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets the following ability. The character facing this card gets -1 soul. Then you put this to memory. So it's nice because it can reduce damage in certain lanes. It played 4 of the level 1 combo. Now the last choice was the Kermi combo. But here's what pants are we playing? We're playing my favorite pants combo, and it's the Toka Finisher. Now, the Toka Finisher, if people don't know what it is, it sacks, you pay 3, pitch 2, and sack the climax.
What?
If you do, you choose 3 cards from your opponent's drop and put them on the top of their deck, and then it deals 5. So essentially,
it's a deal 2.
It's a
that
deal
you need
2
to
that
resolve.
guarantees 5. So you want to hope you cancel on your 2.
That's nuts. What?
So it is a very nice combo just because it does have to reverse though, but Toka can get pretty big. It's a 9k on base, so basically
10k with climax.
10k with climax, and then it does get 500 for each other.
So you're dealing with a 12k.
You're at least with a 12k before other buffs.
Before buffs, back lanes, or anything to affect.
Gotcha.
So pretty good, and then also because it sacks the climax, you don't have to tri-lane it. You just can pick the smallest lane that's gonna be the hardest to get over.
Sure.
For your opponent to power gauge up to.
Especially in this meta, 12k is pretty good on reverse.
I really do like the
surprisingly.
Toka. This was my favorite card to play when DAO 1 came out. It was actually the first deck I did build with DAO 1. Just because dealing 5, it's not really a deal 5. You're stacking 3 damage and then dealing 5. So basically, if your 2 doesn't have a climax in it, you're just eating 5. And what's nice is that if you're like in the level 3 zone, that's just
death.
It's just pretty much
well,
close to
what's
death.
also really good with that is it's not like Data Live is really hungry for other cards to help end the game. You have Icy Tails, you have alternative ways to deal
there are
damage
definitely
as
a lot of
well.
alternatives.
So it's like
It helps. And Kermi herself is pretty good.
You don't need to triple this combo, and on top of
Well,
it,
you
you can do exactly. So
Yeah.
you don't need to triple it. So the other ways of ending this game definitely help you get to winning. And so it's like from there, it's like you can also sack the climax first and manipulate your soul damage on 3/2s to do 2 souls instead of 3.
Modulate it.
So you can build your attacks a lot different depending on how it goes.
That's true.
So
that's actually really scary.
It has a lot of range and what
Another one that I saw here was Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is playing Door Pants, and I believe when I looked at it, it should be the level 1 Goblin Slayer that gets the original torch.
Yep.
With the Priestess top end, which is a -2 machine, if you can constantly get it off. So that's nice to see Goblin Slayer up there. It did play with Quince. It played with 8-door Quince and then 8 standby MTI, so pretty good lineup. And then the last one we had Bang Dream, which played the level 1 choice combo, the Nanami, and the Remy. So they played a lot of extra booster stuff, and Remy's pretty nice because I believe Remy, if I remember, is you pitch a certain Saya, and she deals you deal 1 twice. You pay 1 pitch to Saya. If you have the climax, you deal 1 twice. So
okay, so
modulate modules of 1.
Man, that's the same cost as Escanor.
Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
but Escanor does a lot more.
That is the same cost as Escanor.
Yeah, and don't worry, guys, we're gonna be talking about that a little bit later.
And then in Georgia, it was pretty much what like a lot of the meta has shown to be. Basically,
This was one of the more boring top 8s I think I've seen.
Before we get into have Jake rant a little bit about the current meta, there was a Love Live out there, respectable, and I love them.
Yeah,
But it was your basic like a lot of Marine, a lot of Escanor. The top first place though did have the 8 Pants Kaguya, so I'm glad other people were playing that 3-2 combo.
Yep.
There was more Gate Kaguya than
You were
I was
more expecting, yeah. And then Denmachi. So that's really good, but a lot of like Marine and Escanor decks that we were
Quince also there.
Quince was there, but actually I didn't.
There's-
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, third place had a Quinn on it, but not as many Quints as probably people might have expected in the top 8. I would say it was a lot of Marine and Escanor.
There was definitely a lot
Yes.
of Quince on the ladder because
Yeah.
a lot of people think that
Maybe they took
that-
each other out.
Well, yeah, there's that, and I think a lot more people think that deck is more automatic
Mhm.
than people give it credit for.
Mhm.
While that deck is very powerful, it does have a lot of play
Yeah, I think
lines.
here is like 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 4, so about 50% of
In
team
Atlanta,
on the top 8 had an 8 standby.
how many of the
One. Wait, hold on. Let me count again. 1, 2. Yeah, it was 4. There was 1 8 door.
I
So,
mean, still just like a really good deck.
Yeah,
How many Escanor piles?
we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about a
How
little.
many Marine piles?
Anything with hot marine in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So every top 8 team had a marine deck.
That's a problem.
that's
a.
yikes.
That's an
wow.
actual
Well,
problem.
see that we know it's a problem. We do have a ban list coming up,
Yes.
April 7th.
Friday, we got released a teaser from Weiss Schwarz.
It is so I'm going to quickly take a look while I'm going to have Jake talk a little about the current meta of the game and how he feels, because he was kind of going off before we went in, but I told him to hold up and let him speak his piece on the video a little bit.
I think, and it's not just me, other people think Escanor is a very boring deck. I looked at some other feedback of the deck. People are not happy to lose to it. People are not happy to play against it. It's just like one of those things. And people are also not happy playing the deck.
Yep.
Like, 7 Deadly Sins had a fantastic kit from set 1. And
Absolutely.
everyone like discredited it because it could not end the game as well as people thought it could.
No,
And
absolutely not.
also the level 1 seemed weak.
Yes, like the level 0 game was immaculate in set 1.
For set 2, you got a finisher in Big Daddy Escanor,
Yep.
and you had a lot more auxiliary cards that could help him get there.
Yes.
You got an Aqua that could +2 cards on sending to waiting room. You got some. What else did you get?
Oh man, what else did we? So we have, Omniverse. Just send a memory. Look at top 3 cards. Get a card. There's just so many auxiliary cards that will just help you facilitate your combos. And the fact that we got one of the best level 1s in the game, and the Meliodas Wielder of Lost Vein, where it just summons itself from deck.
You
And
don't
then
even need a combo.
No, you don't, which is nuts. And that card is so powerful.
So I think that deck is an issue in this current meta standing, because you look at it and now people are saying that, like, I talked about Quince being automatic. Escanor's actively automatic.
Yes.
You have Gil Thunder that bounces something back and rearranges the top 3, and that just says, hey, by the way, this Escanor's resolving. You just don't know how it's gonna resolve.
Mm-hmm.
And saying I'm gonna take 5, 6, maybe even 7 damage as increments of 1 is an issue.
Yes. Absolutely.
And that's just the first Escanor. You could be dealing with the second Escanor. If they are hitting every button and knob they need to, they could be doing a third Escanor. That's like Weiss Christmas Land.
Yes.
But it's still possible, because it's not as if it's a pay 2, pay 3, pay 2, pitch 3 cards. It's pay 1, pitch a named card.
Yes, and it's not that hard to get it.
Like when he said on that Bang Dream card, oh, it's pay 1, pitch an explicit Saya, and deal 1 twice. That is actively the same cost as Escanor.
Yep.
Like that is an issue.
It really is. And it's the fact that in most cases, you have finishers that are burn 2 or burn 3 or clock kick or do something or icy or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Escanor, when you look at him in a vacuum, if your opponent is at like say 3-2, for example, and you get the Escanor combo off, they are for sure eating at least 2 to 3 damage without question.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing your opponent can do about it.
And then you look at other decks in the meta that Bushiroad has decided that they are fine with running around, like Marine. Marine is the primary culprit in Hololive.
Yes.
I will say there's a reason most people didn't know what Alejandro's cards do. It is because they only read the 23 cards listed in a Marine pile and go, cool, we're going with this. And I will say, Kanata Marine, it's a very fun deck to play. Playing against that deck is awful. It is actively the worst feeling in the world because you cannot beat over those Kanatas if they're playing it unless you are playing something that restricts backups and has a big enough power to get over. And then if you're able to get over it, who cares? They just dig for 2 Marines, their climax, and they can do it all off of 4 stock.
Yeah, actually.
And we even talked about restricting Marine. That really doesn't feel like it's going to do enough.
I don't think so, personally.
Because it's just going to be like, great, instead of dying to 3 Marines, I'm going to die to 2 Marines and a Musashi. Like, it just feels bad all across the board. And, like, that's not even getting into Quints that they've let run around for this long, even though they've said they've dealt with it in Japan. And it's still not fully done in Japan. There's still 10 standby Quints piles running around.
Yeah, and then this is also before that English gets the movie set.
Yeah, I just think it's just like we're in a boring state of the fact that these 3 decks were represented as, because we had 8 7 Deadly Sins piles.
No, it was 8 Marine piles.
Sorry,
5. So in Georgia, the
It was-
top 8 had 8 Marine piles, which was a whole top 8.
Yeah.
5 Quint, 8 standby Quint piles.
Okay.
And then I believe it was 5 Escanor.
So 17 out of the 24 posted decks were narrowed down to 3 decks that all feel fairly consistent enough for you to say, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
That was our only early round loss.
I did lose the Kanata Marine.
That was our only early round loss because I lost to 8 standby Quints, you lost to Kanata Marine, and Alejandro beat Escanor pile.
So it's still a hard matchup when you have to stare down all 3.
Yeah.
At once.
And I asked our opponents, I was like, so you guys just said we're going to go meta? And he was like, yeah, I didn't want to, but I really want that Katara.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
respectable.
People really want that guitar.
that's understandable.
Because I think this was like, we went to a couple Spring Fest before, and we saw a lot of different varying things. But I think because like people really want the Katara over the Cheeser. I'm sorry, Jake, but I think people want the Katara more. They really went out there. Were playing like they were just not even. They were really in it because
There were a lot of people just in full disregard because now you have top 3 playmats.
Yeah,
True.
There's
actually,
top
yeah.
3 playmats. There's a 1 of 3 card that you're going to get from that event if you only win.
Yeah.
You need to win.
I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do, but we do think these decks are a problem. Now, I have the restriction list update that Weiss posted that day. It'll be starting April 7th, and then April 21st will be the first update, which I think would be the next Spring Fest.
No, hold on. April 7th is when it's getting announced.
Yeah.
And it goes into effect on the 21st.
Which
Okay.
makes sense because the next Spring Fest is not until April 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So they want it there just so that people are
And that's
prepared.
Houston?
No, it's Philippines.
Oh, I'm not going there. We will not be at BSF Philippines.
Oh
Darn.
man, now I'm disappointed.
They did show two choice restrictions were going to happen. One is a 1 of 2, and the other one's a 1 of 3. Now, we're going to just quickly go over like what we think. Alejandro, I'll start with you. Do you have any like ideas? I mean, I know you haven't.
I'm not informed of this game enough to
Okay.
have an opinion right now.
Do you know what you might think what sets might be on there from what you've seen from just being it's the Spring Fest?
I'm almost positive one of them will be Quince.
One of them will be Quince.
I'm
Makes
almost
sense.
positive. I don't know what exactly will get hit,
Mm-hmm.
but I am almost positive
We
one will
do
be
know
Quince.
in the Japan one we have a choice of 1 of 2 right now, but in Japan they did have a 1 of 3, and
Yeah.
the card we were missing was the Ichika Brainstormer, which is also a pay 1, sack it, look at top 4, and add a Quint card in hand.
Mhm.
So in an 8 standby deck, it's really nice because 1, the Brainstormer mills through 5, and 2, you can then pay 1, sack it to put more
more cards in
mo-
your waiting room.
Not even that, it helps you decks get into a
Imagine
higher deck
paying
speed.
paying 2 to get through 9
It
cards.
does
in
get
your
through
deck.
9 cards in your deck pretty easily.
That's actually absurd.
What about you, Brandon? What do you think's gonna be on here?
I know I need to talk about it, and I know people want to bring it up. I don't think 7 Deadly Sins is going to get hit because we just don't have enough data yet.
Oh,
Yes, because people are going to want.
the 7 Deadly Sin player doesn't think they're gonna get hit.
Hey, listen.
English sympathist.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, okay. No, it's yes, but no. But you bring up a good point because never in the history of Weiss has an English only set ever gotten hit.
Yeah,
Wow.
set the precedent.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well-
imagine that. It's because maybe the other thing they're based off are all in Japan, and these are English only.
Wow.
Okay, no,
are you
actually-
telling me Mob Psycho didn't deserve bans, Brandon?
I
Are
don't know.
you telling me? Are you telling me that Batman Ninja didn't need bans?
Actually,
It's- oh, wait, it got one, right?
Okay, anyway.
It got a card cleanup.
We were
if
actually,
True.
I was actually
True.
surprised. I guess it's because Ruby didn't make enough noise that Ruby didn't get hit. Ruby had the potential to get hit.
Yes,
I
Ruby
felt.
definitely did.
Well,
I'm
because that was
surprised.
fully uninteractable, but you could play around it.
Yes, you could.
A lot of people figured out how to play around
So
it, and
you-
it ended very fast.
Yes.
So you don't think 7 Deadly Sins will be hit?
Not yet.
Okay. So then, what titles do you think will get hit?
I do. I'm going to agree with Alejandro. I think Quint in some capacity is going to get hit.
Okay.
Like,
You
it just-
know, on further thought, I don't know if it will be Quince just because we have movie set coming up.
Okay, that's a fair.
And they want to sell movie set.
But
Yeah.
listen. Once movie set comes out and everybody has their
We
stuff,
could
they'll be like,
be-
all right, here we
then
go.
They can ban it. Yeah,
Ban Hammer
true.
could
They're gonna be
happen.
like, "Hey, by the way, we're really excited for BCS and this updated ban and restriction list."
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Bushiroad.
So okay,
Like, I want to say Hololive just because it has been so oppressive over the past year now.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Almost
A year, yeah,
Or
because
either
it dropped in
tearing it
April.
up.
Yes, and obviously Hololive has sold an unsurmountable amount of product, and everyone loves playing it. But you also have to understand the set is so big and is so oppressive that it has to get something has to happen, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
and Jake.
It's gonna be Hololive.
Okay.
Like every event saying, "Hey, we're gonna have at least 6 decks be Hololive decks." It is absolutely insane. Especially when they're all top ended by Marine.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't say these were the only things that were going to be put in place.
I think it will be because the last time they posted something like this, they just showed the Quince ban and it did happen. It was the only ban they did.
So I said the funnier thing would to be for them to do would to be like, "Oh man, look at these 2 restrictions." And the other 6 that we're gonna do, and they just show a whole list of things that you can do.
Makes sense.
But I think they might clean up the Quince revision with by swapping one of the cards out for the Ichika.
Oh,
think
And
they'll
they
just swap
they
it.
they put Charm back in the deck.
Oh,
That
I
would
would
be
love
actually
me
kinda
some
interesting.
charm.
And so they cut the Ironwood or the Itsuki.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the funny thing about the charm. Before when we went to New York, when we went to BCS Manhattan, a couple of you guys were like, "Yeah, I'm not super big on the charm."
I've always been big on the charm. I don't know why people weren't.
Some of it like, "Oh, I'm not super big on the charm." The charm. I feel like it doesn't really do enough for what it costs
They
or
say-
whatever.
that's
And
what
then
they always say.
and then once charm was gone, it's just like, oh, it's not like I heard some of them be like, oh, you really feel missing. You really feel like not having the charm.
Sometimes you really do feel not having that charm.
unbelievable.
I think we are going to probably see a Hololive ban. I think Marine and that 0-0 Kanata really need to not be in the same
And then
deck.
a lot of people were speculating that the Hachima counter
Yeah,
would be
the
on that
Hachima
list.
counter also because you're Kanata, filling your hand so that one you could just go, yeah, I'm gonna rest counter and I have the hand to do it because I just Kanata'd 6 cards back to my hand.
Yep.
Mhm.
I do think that 7 Deadly Sins could get hit, and if it would be, it'd probably be the Elizabeth combo and the Escanor together. I just think the value that you can have from 0 to 1
Yes.
on the Elizabeth Brainstormer, and then leading it I know there's the 2-1 Meliodas, but most people don't play it until you can play it on 1, But you could also play it on 2. I feel like just you can get a lot of value from your brainstormer just being that level 1 combo.
Yes, absolutely. Because I had a discussion with my team earlier today, actually, and we were just thinking that really from levels 0, 1, 2, if you just have
It's just building.
it's just building advantage every turn, and because you have one of the most broken level 1 cards in the game, you just get to just sit there and do nothing, and you just keep hoping. You keep swinging, you deal damage, and you're like, cool, your opponent's level 3, awesome. Now you build your hand to be Escanor and then whatever else, and you just kill them.
And then I'm gonna put this one out there for our good friend Dave. He made a comment because he was on Brandon's team, but he's with us on the drive down. He said he said something. His hot take would be a preemptive ban on SAO 10 that is coming out at the end of the month, and say just hit the Alices, the 1-0 Alice and the 2-1 Alice. Those of you who don't know, the 1-0 Alice brainstorms, and if it hits the 2-1 Alice, it plays it. And the 2-1 Alice is a very good climax combo, that we can post in.
I'll probably add a picture.
Of it just so you can see what it does, but it is going to be something we see at the end of the month.
And then it's just like the Tokyo Avengers combo, but with substantially more text.
Yeah.
Yes.
More text.
It doesn't get up to 16K, but
it does not get big, but it gives you stock and cards in hand.
It does a lot that you want it to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say is coming up. Now for us, we wanted to film, but because we ended up having to drive, I was too tired to do such a thing. And we were still working out some issues with the camera, as you can see from our last video.
And this video.
Poor Jake. He just wants something to go right. But coming up, I will say we are probably going to do a live stream of a Bang Dream opening and probably even just leave the VOD there because I should be getting my Bang Dream case this Friday.
Let's go.
Knock on wood.
I'm going to hopefully have on the stream the hits that we want to see. Probably a set review coming out on Data Live because I just got my playset today also.
Nice.
Thanks to our friend Evan. And I would say hopefully we'll get our deck a couple decklist videos for us that played. If not, we're gonna link our deck codes in the description below.
Yeah, they'll be down there. I can even add Brandon's.
Oh,
we're definitely gonna add Brandon's.
Yay.
Just so you guys can see what we were playing. If you guys are ever interested in doing what we did, if you guys do, good on you.
They are braver than me. Because I don't think I can go back into another BSF with Rent a Girlfriend and do anywhere close to as good as I did.
What you do.
Listen, I'm willing to do the run back.
Yeah,
let's go.
But and then hopefully, like I said, we'll get these deck listers going. We're still getting the kinks out before we could start doing a lot more like how to play Weiss and going over just other fun things we might just do along the way. Our next video will probably be in 2 weeks. You might see, like I said, another video from a couple videos from us before then.
Well,
but
the next stock pot will be in 2 weeks.
The next stock pot will be in 2 weeks. But there might be some other stuff you see along the way, and hopefully you guys continue to go through with us through our kinks right now, and hopefully we can get this up and running and be a good page you guys like to watch videos on. So on that note, thanks for listening to us talking about our trip to Atlanta and hearing what we had to say. This was the stock pot. We'll be catching you later.
Remember, like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the